the lottery is big business in this country, bringing in billions of dollars to state and local governments as millions of Americans put down a few dollars with the hopes of striking it rich. But while dreaming big of lotto winnings is mostly fun and games, for some it can become an obsession. So in tonight's Prime Focus, ABC's Reena Roy looks at the problem of lottery addiction.
When I buy a lottery ticket, it feels like the best thing in the world, but at the end, it feels like the end of the world at the same time.
It's a momentary high that Tavania Thomas says she desperately chased for years.
It feels like your heart's gonna explode, but you love it. You don't know what's gonna be behind that glitter that's underneath that ticket.
The slim chance of a win on scratch-off tickets and lotto drawings had her going back for more, spending hours every day in convenience stores across Richmond, Virginia, even skipping meals for extra cash.
Were there times where you chose to buy a lottery ticket instead of putting food on the table?
Every time. Every time. If I woke up in the morning, as soon as my eyes pop up, I look at my bank account, and if I had any kind of money, I'm off to a casino, I'm off to a convenience store. I still have to keep playing because it's not enough. It was never enough.
While the public's attention is mostly focused on Powerball and Mega Millions drawings, more than 2/3 of state lottery sales come from instant scratch-off tickets with repeat players like Tavania driving sales. A nationwide investigation of state lotteries by the University of Maryland in 2022 found stores that sell tickets are disproportionately clustered in lower-income communities in nearly every state where the game is played.
It's low-income people who are losing a disproportionate amount of their wealth to this government scheme.
Looking back at the history of the lottery, it's always been an attempted means to riches for many Americans.
Now that I won that money, I'm gonna go into business.
Amongst Black Americans, it also became a chance to gain upward mobility in a system that critics argue had few opportunities for people of color. But lotteries have transformed into a way for states to fill in budgetary gaps for government services without raising taxes. And researchers say low-income taxpayers end up shouldering the burden.
State lotteries are Exhibit A when it comes to predatory gambling. No one's going to say there's an overtly racist program, but this is definitely a form of systemic racism that has occurred. They have shifted the tax burden away from middle-class taxpayers from property and put it more and more on the backs of low-income people, disproportionately, who are Black and brown folks across our country.
There are studies that show that the lottery system actually is more prevalent and potentially targets communities of color and lower income communities.
Exactly.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a travesty, actually. I am a part of that community. I am a woman of color. I'm low income.
After experiencing suicidal thoughts, Tavania was able to secure a scholarship to an addiction recovery program at Williamsville Wellness in Virginia.
On the first day, it was like a breath of fresh air. I was saved from myself. I didn't have the opportunity to gamble. I didn't have the means to gamble.
As a person gambles and begins to lose, they start to chase money. They're trying to find a way out, and it just gets them further and further in the hole.
Experts say lottery ticket sales are skyrocketing with increasing jackpots luring in more players. Ticket sales have jumped from $47 billion to $82 billion since 2005, with all but 5 states operating some form of lottery. The Tax Foundation says approximately 60% of state lottery earnings go directly to the winners, with states keeping the remaining amount to pay for advertisements and government programs like education, health services, and public spaces. In Virginia, where Tavania lives, some $774 million from lottery ticket sales are earmarked for K-12 public education. But in 2022, Virginia received a D grade for how it allocates money to high-poverty districts, leaving questions about where the money is distributed and if some should be going to battling addiction. The Virginia Lottery telling ABC News that it has a proven track record of working to raise awareness of problem gambling and gambling addiction, going far beyond what it's required by law to do. While Virginia law requires all lottery profits to go to K-12 education, the lottery has been repeatedly recognized as a leader in the industry when it comes to using its resources and high public profile to raise awareness and encourage responsible play.
Fortunately, Most of the bills that have been passed over the years do include some help for people that get addicted to gambling, but it's probably still not enough. And I think more of the profits need to go towards helping people that develop gambling disorder.
Tavania says her losses are incalculable. These days, she journals and stays in touch with her sponsor to try and keep her mind off gambling. But she says it's a constant battle against temptation.
There's gambling everywhere, and it is tempting.
So you think perhaps some of the money should be going to actually help lotto addiction?
I think most of the money does need to go to that.
And what is your message to others who might be going through something similar?
There's help, but you gotta want it.
Yes, first, you do have to want the help. Our thanks to Reena Roy for that. If you need help with a gambling problem, reach out to 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you're having thoughts of suicide or experiencing another mental health crisis, call or text 988. And remember, you are not alone.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.